Come on over, everyone take one big scoot back, make room. Welcome. No matter where you are from, you are
welcome here.
No matter how old you are or what color your skin is, you are
welcome here.
No matter if you believe in God all of the time, some of the time, or none of the time, you are
welcome.
Come as you are welcome in our tribe. So we run a youth ministry called The Tribe. We're a wrestling club grounded in faith formation. Ready? We're gonna fly. Good ball. We start with a welcome statement and some group prayer, move into a lesson. We engage the kids with questions and activities in that lesson, and then start doing our physical wrestling practice. It takes the form of techniques and activities, finally wrapping up in some free sparring and games where we try to take our lesson and layer it into that practice as well. And finally, we end with some quiet meditation and prayer where we again engage the children on what and who and why we're praying.
The Lower Susquehanna Synod is a place where mission is encouraged, supported, and nurtured. Currently, we are equipping 23 congregations through our R3 Renewal initiative. Reform, renew, and revision. R3 uses an 18-month coaching process that equips congregations with the energy, ideas, and tools needed to renew their sense of God's mission.
If we're looking to renew ourselves as a church, one of the first places we can start is asking ourselves, who are we in this community? What does this community want? What do they need? How can we best serve them? Our motivation for this came from seeing so many kids out in the neighborhood playing and looking in our pews and not finding a lot of young people. So we sat down and started thinking, what's a way that we can bring them in? What's a way we can nurture them and feed them that's going to speak to them? Thus, we decided kids need an energetic activity, and here's a way we can be church while providing it to them.
Congregations are exploring how God is already at work in their mission fields. Earlier engagement through R3 means that congregations renew with greater strengths and resources. Instead of responding out of desperation or fear, congregations improve their ability to faithfully move forward. Congregations are becoming more and more attentive to God.
One of the things we've been doing recently because of R3 is in interviewing people in the community about how they see the community and how they see us and what we could be doing as a helpful church to engage with them. And one of the things we found out is that although people were aware our church is here, they really didn't know us. We recognized there was a problem with our youth program, partly because people just weren't coming. When we would talk to young families, they would say they kind of liked the service, but they really didn't, it really wasn't engaging the youth that much. Well, we had a meeting and asked parents of young children what they really wanted and so forth, and came up with this idea to do youth fellowship during the worship service. So once a month, we have youth service where they come up and they greet and they usher and they are lectors and so on and so forth. The congregation has really given us permission to wholeheartedly try to change what we feel needs to be changed and to evaluate what we're doing honestly to say, okay, this really isn't working and this is.
We believe God has a purpose for every congregation, regardless of size. Right now, 15% of Lower Susquehanna Synod congregations are in renewal, talking about God and the future with hope. We are committed to deepening our sense of God's mission even more. Because we are partners in ministry, our goal is to have 25% of our congregations actively engaged in renewal by 2020. This is possible because vitality is already returning to our congregations, and communities of Jesus are popping up everywhere.
Our big takeaways from the R3 program so far has really been relationship, that becomes then the key to our mission, is that relationship with each other, relationship with the community, relationship with the world, that all of that is necessary in order to really be faithful to the mission that we've been given by God to do.
Church can and should be everywhere because God is everywhere. And we are gathered as church when we're gathered in community in the name of Christ. And that happens here. It happens in this building on Sunday mornings in our regular worship. It happens anywhere two or more people are gathered, as Jesus likes to say. We just use a different medium of getting the message across. As we renew our church and as we look for new and creative ways to do this, it's all about meeting people where they're at. Some people are going to thrive in the traditional worship setting. Some people might need something a little more off the beaten path. And kids need an activity that they can touch and feel and play with to apply it to their lives specifically. So in that way, I hope that's a service we get to provide to them here every Monday night.
If we're not able to share the gospel and to continue to share the gospel for new generations, then we're not really doing what Christ called us to do. Jesus calls us to be in community together, and that loving God and loving neighbor go hand in hand, and in practice really become the same commandment, because if we're not loving our neighbor, then we're not really loving God.